Welcome to today's Explainer. So today, we're diving into what is honestly one of the most fascinating intellectual achievements in all of human history. To really set the stage here, I want you to picture this. Imagine a vibrant ancient city, just absolutely humming with activity. You're standing at the docks, and ship after ship is arriving. But here's the catch. These vessels weren't just bringing your standard trade goods like grain or spices. No, they were carrying stories, texts, and just profound knowledge from literally every corner of the known world. This was Alexandria. We often have this preconceived notion of ancient libraries, right? We picture these quiet, dusty rooms where old books simply sat on shelves just to be preserved. But what if the ancient world's greatest library was actually a cutting-edge math lab? Seriously, today we're going to completely challenge those old assumptions and discover the highly technical, incredibly dynamic reality of what was actually happening inside those walls. Section 1, the ultimate knowledge hub. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer massive scale of it all. To understand the scientific breakthroughs that happened here, we first have to wrap our heads around the incredibly ambitious dream of Alexandria's rulers. Their goal wasn't just to have a nice local collection. They wanted to gather literally every single piece of knowledge humankind could possibly find. Copies of scrolls poured in from Greece, Persia, India, and way beyond. We're talking about a massive global data gathering operation happening centuries before the internet. Just imagine the logistics involved in sourcing, transporting, and translating the greatest thoughts of all these diverse civilizations into one central location. As the definition here clearly highlights, the Great Library was a research institute centuries ahead of its time. Because of all this intense global data gathering, it wasn't just some passive book collection. It completely transformed into an active, buzzing hub of innovation. It was a place where brilliant minds collided, debated, and collaborated to push the very boundaries of what humanity knew. Moving right along to Section 2, Mathematics Centuries Ahead. Close your eyes for a second. Just imagine walking through these vast, echoing halls, completely lined with scrolls dedicated to the absolute most advanced learning of the era. The air would have been electric with discovery. Astronomy, mathematics, medicine, geography, philosophy. And the true beauty of it, they weren't just studying these subjects in isolation. The way these disciplines were stacked together under one roof allowed for incredible cross-pollination. Math informed astronomy, which then informed geography. It was a perfectly integrated curriculum. And it was within those very walls that thinkers like Euclid contributed some truly groundbreaking ideas. The weight of his contributions to this research hub is just immense. He wasn't simply writing things down, he was actively shaping the fundamental rules of geometry. We're talking about the core principles that would go on to govern human engineering, architecture, and spatial reasoning for literally millennia. The formulas developed right here essentially built the physical world as we know it today. Let's move to and see how this builds, because Euclid certainly wasn't alone. Building directly on those geometric principles, another absolute genius named Eratosthenes calculated the Earth's circumference with stunning accuracy. And get this, he did it working entirely without modern technology. No satellites, no computers. He used angles, shadows, and the mathematical formulas stored in this very library to measure our entire planet. It's a massive testament to the highly practical, applied math that this research institute made possible. Section 3, the myth of Athar. Okay, let's dive into this because for centuries, Alexandria stood as humanity's greatest center of learning. But as we know, greatness doesn't always last forever. So how did we actually lose it? Well, we've all been taught the classic Hollywood myth, right? The idea of one single catastrophic fire wiping out everything in a single night. But the reality is vastly more complicated and honestly a lot more tragic. It involved political conflict, economic decline, and just centuries of neglect. If we guide ourselves chronologically through the timeline here, you'll see that while some initial damage definitely likely happened to the collection during Julius Caesar's time, the fatal blows weren't struck by a single dramatic event. Over the following centuries, as political conflicts raged and the economy really started to falter, the institution suffered. Actually, scratch the idea of one dramatic night of flames. Historians believe we're looking at what you could call a slow system crash. It was an agonizingly slow decline that ended in ultimate neglect, with the library just fading away, generation by generation. Which brings us to Section 4, a fragile human legacy. You see, the loss of the Great Library isn't just some ancient piece of trivia. It has profound implications for every single one of us today. Losing so many works means that countless secrets, mathematical formulas, and scientific observations just simply vanished. But thankfully, this incredible story doesn't end in complete despair. Built right there in Egypt, the modern Bibliotheca Alexandriana tries to carry forward that original mission of learning and discovery. It proves that the powerful, relentless spirit of Alexandria, that raw drive to gather knowledge and understand our universe, well, it survives, and it continues to inspire us today. Ultimately, the Great Library reminds us of two crucial things: how incredibly powerful human ideas can be when we bring them together, and just how desperately fragile they are. So perhaps the greatest mystery isn't exactly how the library disappeared, but how much of our own story disappeared with it. Just think about what mathematical and scientific heights we might have reached had we never lost those scrolls. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer to uncover the mathematical genius of Alexandria. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.